Electro-Anarchy.
Welcome back. Right now we're going to talk about the Pi-Cade and all the things that we're going to need and how we're going to get this thing accomplished. First of all, we're going to need a Raspberry Pi. Now, these things are fabulous. This is one of the earlier models. I'm going to be upgrading to getting some Raspberry Pi 2s before too long. So that kind of left me thinking, well, what am I going to do with this? Well, of course, that's where I found the Pi-Cade and thought, well, that would make a good Pi-Cade. So anyway, we're going to take an older version of Raspberry Pi, which, by the way, works really good. So if you get these really cheap from somewhere, turn them into something like this and just use them. Anyway, these run off of an SD card right here. So basically all you do is you load up the software on a USB card, or an SD card, sorry. This one here is a class 10, an 8 gig class 10. Now, if you're going to do arcade stuff and things like that, you need to get, I would say, a minimum of 8 gigs. More is better, of course, but of course, the price goes up. But these cards, I actually got these at Office Max. I think they were $5 a piece. So, just to, search for bargains and stuff. Would not recommend buying these things off of eBay. But, you can go down to Big Lots, Office Max, Office Depot, Staples, or, whatever your local office supply or electronics store, Speaking of electronic stores, believe it or not, there is still a Radio Shack in Omaha. Oddly enough, they're still out there. They're still out there. But besides the Raspberry Pi and the SD card, you're going to want some. You want to be able to use this thing. So the best thing is Wi-Fi. Now, this Wi-Fi dongle right here, it was cheap, simple, but it is compatible with the latest version of the operating system on the Raspberry Pi. It was a little finicky, but it does work. Also, you can use a larger one with an antenna. This one I don't think I'm going to use for this project because this just seems to fit a little bit better, and it does work. For setting it up, you're going to need a mouse, you're going to need a keyboard. Those things you definitely have to have to get this set up, because you're going to have to go into this and configure this thing locally after it's booted. You're also going to need a USB hub, and the best thing to do is get one that's powered, so that way you can have everything powered and not pulling the power off the Pi, because you can only get so much out of its power cord, which is basically a micro USB connector. So just keep that in mind. If you plug anything extra into this thing, have some power. Also for this build, we're going to need an HDMI cable. Now this one, of course, is way too big for the project. Definitely going to be using a smaller one because it's going to connect into this. And what this is this is an LCD controller. This one's a universal, so you can turn almost any kind of screen into. You plug into anything, laptop screens, anything like that. Anything that has this connector can work on it, and it has all your normal connections on it and stuff. So you need that, and we'll need some speakers. I think I pulled these out of an old TV, but they're pretty nice little speakers, and I think they'll fit the design. I won't be using these cases, but I will be using this some of the dimensions out of this as a template for a 3D printed screen holder / speaker holder. And then we're going to need a screen. Now, this is the screen that came with this adapter here. It's not that big. It's got decent colors. It's a decent little screen, but it's just a little small. So I got to thinking, I've got a bunch of crap sitting around. Let me dig around and see what I can find. And I came up with this guy. Much better. This actually came out of a Acer tablet, believe it or not. And it does have the correct connections. Unlike a lot of tablets that have proprietary connections, this has the same connection as the rest. And you know what, I forget what in the world that's called. Sorry, it eludes me right now. But in any case, it will connect into the same connector as this guy. And the adapter board, what's nice about this is that it automatically detects and adjusts the screen to whatever you plug into it. So it's awesome. If you're going to reuse screens and stuff, get one of these things or more. They're nothing short of awesome. Trust me. The next thing we need to do is we're going to need to sit down at the computer, download the operating system, and get this thing ready. And we'll go to the computer for that one.